Our top stories: the IMF backs layoffs, high numbers of students turn out for a jobs expo, and could there be a record real estate deal in the works for Barbados? Also later in the week of love, a sexy name. I know you'll stay with us for this edition of Nation News for Wednesday, February the 12th, 2014.
You want your loved ones around to celebrate, especially those living far. And with Digicel Top-Up, Dad can help you bring life to the party and be part of the celebration. Ask him to send you Digicel Minutes. Receive free instant additional credit. Stay connected here and there. Ask your family abroad to send Digicel Minutes today.
The IMF has told Barbados that it needs to act quickly in laying off government workers and freezing wages. The advice came as the much-anticipated report from the fund's latest consultative mission to Barbados was released. A decline in foreign reserves and tourism has worsened the economic prospects for Barbados. The IMF's directors say they are encouraged by the authorities' determination to undertake the measures needed to stabilize the economy and cut the deficit, such as the retrenchment of more than 3,000 workers. But they warn that strong and prompt implementation is necessary, as the risk of an economic reverse is significant in the current environment of low growth, high debt, and a fixed exchange rate. The IMF's mission chief to Barbados, Nicole Laframboise, said the government was committed to the current measures, and the debt restructuring, the route supported by David Eswick, was not up for consideration. Dr. Eswick, the Minister of Agriculture, is due to put his proposals to the Cabinet on Thursday. When the Clico Empire collapsed 5 years ago, Barbados responded by setting up the Financial Services Commission to regulate the non-banking financial sector, including insurance companies and credit unions. The near 3-year-old agency remains a work in progress, the IMF says in its latest report, even as local officials insist they are working hard to reduce the likelihood of another Clico. At a news briefing, a senior executive, Randy Graham, talked about the Commission's role, saying it has a major role to play in rebuilding Barbados' economy.
Several of the entities that bring the foreign exchange into Barbados are non-bank financial institutions, all regulated, or principally all regulated by the FSC. And however you look at it, the international business sector is clearly one of the most probable avenues that Barbados has in pulling itself out of this recession.
Mr. Graham was speaking this morning during a media briefing to launch the FSC's public education program. Acting Deputy CEO Cyrilyn Benskin-Muddy explained how the agency's work affects the general public.
What is the FSC doing to help the other John Doe, members of the public? We have a remit which not only requires financial institutions to submit on a quarterly basis various management reports and financial data, but we are charged and have a full complement of analysts who analyze that data that comes in quarterly. We also receive annual financial statements from companies.
Job seekers face a tough battleground for work, with many applicants now chasing every high and low-skilled job. So it makes sense for school students to start mapping out a strategy for future careers. And hundreds turned up at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center for a National Careers Showcase, displaying a wide range of job areas, including law enforcement, hospitality, the media, and education. The event was organized by the Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors.
This is our 9th year. We've had a number of companies that have been with us across those 9 years. We have Barbados Port. This year we have the Ministry of Labour with us, TVET, UE, BCC. It's just been amazing how persons have come out and the students are able to get the information right there without lots of trouble. And the persons are accessible and they're available. So I think it's successful. It gives them the opportunity to really do some hands-on research.
And we now hear from some of those who had booths at the Careers Showcase.
Every year, Sandy Lane offers internship opportunities to young people who are studying within the industry. And we thought it'd be a great way for us to come and show all of the students exactly what we have to offer with respect to careers at Sandy Lane Hotel.
And today we're here at the Career Showcase to show people it's more than just an ambulance ride. It's a career, it's a great career choice. It's one that's dynamic. We never see the same thing twice. And in recent times in Barbados, we're having several mass casualties and the persons would know that it could be rather stressful, but yet it's a rather rewarding job.
Two influential newspapers have turned the spotlight on Barbados' luxury property market in recent publications, with signals that it is picking up. The Times of London, in an article headlined "The Sun is Shining Again in Barbados," said real estate agents Chesterton had sold a home on the West Coast for more than $50 million. It said also that the developers behind Palazat, next to St. Peter's Bay, are considering selling all 4 towering apartments for $100 million. That, according to the paper, would make it the most expensive property sold in the Caribbean. The New York Times, meantime, says prices are now relatively low in Barbados because of the global economic downturn, with beachfront apartments fetching $700 per square foot rather than $1,000. Now that's reasonable, isn't it? High Court Judge Randall Worrell has been at the forefront of efforts to get Barbados to consider whether it is wise to keep locking up its young men for non-violent drug offenses. He believes that the newly launched drug court, which has a strong bias towards treatment, will bring benefits to the country, financially and in crime reduction. In fact, Justice Worrell says studies have shown that the dynamics of drug courts have led to a reduction of crime by as much as 45% more than other sentencing options. Speaking to Nation News, the judge said the new court will require a restructuring of the judicial system, requiring more collaboration between judges and health and other professionals.
Yeah, there would have to be reorientation because it is now a team approach. So whereas the magistrate would be the person who, in the traditional setting, who would actually decide what the punishment is, the magistrate now has to sit with a team. That team would normally sit before the magistrate comes out into court and discuss the issues relating to the participant or the client. Now that team would include defense counsel, it would also include the prosecution, it would include probation, these things, it would include treatment, healthcare professionals.
At Courts, every day we bring affordability, convenience, innovation, and style to over 1 million customers in 11 countries. From homes to communities, we are proud to make a difference in the lives of many across the region. Courts, bringing value home.
In news about our neighbors, we start with a question. What exactly is a gang? The question is now engaging MPs in St. Lucia, whose parliament will continue to debate a new anti-gang law on Thursday. The bill puts the onus on judges to determine whether convicted criminals are gang members who are being targeted with tougher penalties. The government says it has to tackle head-on criminal gangs blamed for an epidemic of crime. The opposition says the definition of gang is ambiguous and could infringe the rights of St. Lucians. A new approach towards lessening the destructive impact of disasters is being undertaken by the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, or SEDEMA. The agency is now addressing the issue from the root by promoting safer building in the Caribbean. Speaking at the launch of the Regional Code of Practice for the Construction of Houses, SEDEMA's Deputy Executive Director, Elizabeth Riley, said the initiative was extremely important given how costly disasters have been in the Caribbean.
The Caribbean Development Bank, in its 2012 annual report, estimates that since 1998, major natural hazards have caused US $18 billion in direct damage in 17 of the borrowing member countries, including Haiti. If we disaggregate these figures to examine the impacts at the sectoral level, the vulnerability of our housing stock becomes clearer.
And finally, Sheila Crabtree wanted to be sexy. Now a judge in Ohio has made it official. Mrs. Crabtree took her application for a name change to a state court on Tuesday. The judge heard her case before deciding, yes, that she had demonstrated reasonable and proper cause to be renamed Sexy. Mrs. Crabtree said she hated her old name Sheila, referring to it as ugly. Ouch. But why sexy? I wear Victoria's Secret clothes all the time, she said when she filed for the name change. Her husband added, it's just perfect for her. That's Nation News for Wednesday. I'm Bertram Niles.